Hello, everyone. So excited to be here today because I want to talk about a topic that has been near and dear on my heart for a long time, right? When you are an online entrepreneur, when you're a network marketer, you are in real estate, you are having maybe insurances that you're selling, anything, the reason why you do that is because you need a paycheck. You need something to show up in your bank account that says, hey, here's the money that you can now use for paying your bills, paying your debt, whatever it is, right? So that's why you're doing this. Let's not sugarcoat this. Let's not keep talking about how we want to be helping anybody and how we want to, like all of these lies, so to speak, are lies because they are sugarcoating the fact that you do have work that needs to be done. Okay. You are trying to minimize the amount of work that needs to be done, and therefore you're not having the results that you're looking to do. Right. And this is one of the, I would say, where people are saying network marketing, for example, is a scam. This is one of the reasons why, because when we sell it to people, we say, hey, let's do it in the nooks and crannies of our days. Hey, let's just, do a little bit here, and it's so fun. And I love to share the products that I love, and let's just, share it with the people that we love. And it's so much fun. And while it is fun to be going to trips, going to conventions, going to retreats, going to personal development retreats, right? These things are fun, but we cannot forget that this is in the end a means to an end, right? This is a job. This is a career. This is something that we are doing to get paid. Okay. That is why we are ultimately building a business. We are doing this to get paid. And I feel it's really important to make sure that this is clear, because there's so much anxiety about the fact that you may never be stable. So let's say you're in real estate, for example, right? You're a real estate agent and you are trying to sell the houses. Maybe you make one time a commission, but if you are not doing the work every single day, if you are not having the habits every single day to have lead generations, to improve new leads coming in, qualifying the leads through your process, and then talking to the leads and pitching them of some sort, you are not going to close any houses. The same thing in an insurance industry. If you're not having lead generation, if you're not qualifying the leads, if you're not pitching them, if you're not talking to them and closing them, you are not having sales. And the same is in your network marketing business. If you are not lead generating, if you're not talking to people, if you're not pitching them, and if you're not closing them, you are not making any money. And we can talk about all the contests as much as we want, and we can talk about it, how fun it is, all we want, but it's not going to get us where we need to go. And that is where your anxiety is. Your anxiety comes from your brain actually knowing that you're lying to it. So that no one, because that is just not realistic, no one wakes up and becomes it's the top of their paycheck pyramid, right? Whatever. If you are, top of the company in network marketing, or top of the company in your job, right? You're not going to be the president when you first start. That's just not right. So why do we somehow buy into this thought error that we're going to purchase a welcome pack, or we say we pass the bar, we pass the exam to become, an insurance agent or a real estate person. And now out of the sudden, we somehow have the expectation that we should make a lot of money. It's a thought error, guys. And I want you to really look at it through the lens of clarity. This is a thought error that has been put in our brains because of the desire to want to be doing this, the desire that we want to have this. And the desire comes from seeing the mountaintop. Okay. So if you are a visionary person, you This is actually what happened to me. Okay, I can tell you this quick story. One of my uplines back then told a story about, some people are just like that. They see the top of the mountain. And I'm like, that is me. I see the top of the mountain. I can see what's possible. I can see the diamond. I can see the money coming in. I can see it glass clear. I can see it glass clear. And what happened was I never realized that there was a mountain to begin with. I never realized that there was a staircase that had to be climbed. I never realized that there was a forest with like big and thick bushes and trees and all that stuff that I needed to get through first in order to even make it to the staircase. And then from the staircase, there were like multiple different obstacles on the stairs as well, on the pursuit to going to this mountaintop. I never had awareness around any of that. I just saw it was possible. So if you are anything like that, what happens is you get sold by this shiny object, this vision, this opportunity that this is possible, right? You see in other people and they're like, wow, if it's possible for them, then it could be possible for me. And another example, I'm really fascinated by Russell Brunson, right? So Russell Brunson is somebody I'm like consuming and studying right now. And I just caught myself yesterday, as a matter of fact. I looked at one of his videos and I'm like, he looks like a normal guy. I could do that. Like he's like a normal person. And then I started realizing, like, this is what it is. It's my brain. And if you're anything like me, you are likely like that. My brain has this button where it says, yeah, that is doable. It's doable. If you are like me, you need to be aware that there's multiple different steps in between. Okay, you are not going to have the skills, and that is exactly what it is. It is skills that you're learning one by one by one by one. But the reason why I say that with all caution here is because your next goal cannot be making $30,000 a month, can be yada, 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 yada. If you have this big goal gap from where you are right now to where you want to go, all you're doing is you're setting yourself up for failure and you're proving to your brain that you can't do it, right? And then that's when you start getting anxious. That is when you start getting worried. That is when you start having doubt. That's when you start procrastinating. And because your brain knows it's not real. It's not real. So you can never outlie your brain. It knows it's not real. And so when you want to fill this gap, what you need to do is you need to set smaller goals, achievable goals that you can make, right? And again, if you're anything like me, those goals probably seem very ridiculous for you, right? They're going to be like, I can do so much better. But you've got to get this big picture. You've got to get this big picture. What can you maintain long term? That is where the key is. Can you run small sprints? Absolutely. Can these small sprints be powerful and strong? Absolutely. But can you maintain them over months and months and months? That is where the key is, right? So when I'm looking at my 2026 planning, for example, I am looking at what do I want to achieve within this year, in this next year? What is my next goal and how can I break this down? I am not going anymore to, I need to be on the top of this, because that is not realistic. I am still somebody that has still little kids in the house. I still am doing all the things that other people don't do. It's not my season of life to change my life entirely in 30 days. That is not where I'm at right now. That is not where I need to be right now. So we get so blindsided by these big people that we're following, right? These big mentors, these big uplines, we're looking at them and we're looking at their lives and we're like, oh, and we can do it just like that. And we can't yet. Not yet, some of us at least, right? Some of us could, but you've got to decide this for yourself. Where exactly are you at? Can you do it right now, or do you maybe have to wait just a little bit? Maybe that is not your next step. So, and if you want to reach stability, you need to have systems. Okay, in order to reach stability, you need to have systems. Systems is not something you can do once in a while. Systems is not something you do once a month. Systems is something that you do every single day. Every single day. That is what you do. So on your worst days, what can you do every single day? What will bring the needle, move the needle a little bit forward in your business? What is it that you would, what are your must-dos? Do you even have clarity around this? Again, in order to sell stuff, you need to have a lead generation of some sort. Maybe you are posting something. Maybe you are reaching out to people. Whatever it is for you, you need to have that lead generation. Maybe you're printing flyers, right? I have a friend in real estate. She's crushing it with like sending postcards everywhere. So it's like lead generation. That's what it is. Then you need to have conversations. How are we qualifying these leads? How are we making sure that they are people that we want to talk to? Maybe they're not people that we want to talk to. I sorted somebody straight out today. I did not like her tone. I did not like how she talked to me. Goodbye. I am a no tolerance kind of person these days. Like, it's I'm kind and I'm loving and I'm helping everybody. But if you cross my lines, I'm done. I am no longer doing this, because right now in the season of my life, it is really important for me to keep my energy up and high and positive and where I need it to be. Okay. And anyone that does not play by my rules right now is put on hold. Hold, please. Right? That's it. Because I am that strict with what my goals are and what I need to be doing right now. And that is where you need to see, what is it for you? Don't just blindly follow people. Okay, that never will set you up for success. If you just blindly follow anybody, that will never make you where you want to go. What will make you go the places you want to go is literally you learning a system that works for you in your present moment. What can I do in this next 30 days? What will move my needle forward within these next 30 days? What can I do? I need to have lead generation. I need to have conversations. I need to close something, right? So I need to offer something. What's my offer? What can I offer? Like if I would right now offer house parties all over the place, for example, invites, in-person invites, I would be going ape. I mean, I would be so exhausted. There's no way that I could do that. I could not do that right now. Not to the level of my expectations. I could just not. I'm an introvert, and I need to make sure that with the energy output that I have, that I also keep time to replenish myself and to rework and to be calm and to, like, my steam room, by the way, is like my sanctuary, right? My 15 minutes, 20 minutes steam that I do every single day, that is my recharge. What is it for you? Do you have that? Do you know that you need that? You've got to find your rhythm. You've got to find your system. And so if somebody says events is your thing and you're just like, I just can't do it. If I cannot do it, listen to your gut. There's so many different ways on how to build your business and how to be getting where you need to go. You just need to find your way. And then you need to do that daily. You need to do that daily. You need to set yourself up and you need to be different than everyone else. That doesn't mean to reinvent the wheels. I mean, of course, we know when we want to sell something, lead generation, qualifying process, right? Offering something and closing. I mean, doesn't matter what industry you're in. Those are the 4 things that you need to have. But how you're doing these 4 pillars, sales pillars, that, my friends, needs to be your process, not your uplines, not your bosses, it has to be your process, something that you can maintain with your thoughts, with your paradigm, with your schedule, with your energy system. It's something that needs to be uniquely made for you. Okay. If you have questions, if you want to dive a little bit deeper about how mindset can actually help you or break you, I have a mindset hack video that I've made that I want you to watch. It is on www.walkitfree.com/mindset. And there you can get that it's a 15-minute, really quick mindset hack that will save your life and teach you exactly how to do this. All right. I shall see you all tomorrow. Bye. Walk it free.